Hello everyone. So here's something I did not expect, that I was going to do today. I'm going to do a product review and it's going to be over this product. Now, I got this like right before I found out that I don't know, bannings, lockdowns or whatever was going to happen. We're not going to buy from Walmart or Amazon like ever again, it seems. So yeah, and I didn't, and you could get this on Amazon or Walmart for around $30. Now, I've never encountered this product before. They've advertised it to me a lot at Walmart. I wasn't going to get it, and then suddenly, out of the blue, I ended up needing it. So I will go into that in a minute, but I'm going to be reviewing this product, and the reason I'm reviewing it is because it annoyed me just a little bit. So here we go. And the first thing I'm going to do is to get this out of the way. So now, I was not impressed with the sketchbooks that they gave. Now, this one, even though I ended up taking I don't know, the label, whatever you want to call it. It had like a piece of cardboard over it. And it was just, labeling it what it was. This is a sketchbook and it has fairly thick and absorbent paper. It's not very tough. It's very, very thin and wimpy and everything. This is also a sketchbook, and this is the same size as this one. It's 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Supposedly it comes with 60-pound weight paper, 100 sheets. And obviously they're trying to copy, what is it, Faber-Castell or something like that, I think it is. And this is actually very, very thin. This is almost like printer paper. It's very, very smooth. It's very thin. And then there's this sketchbook also, and it comes with 30 sheets. It's a 9 by 12. Here we go, 9 by 12, 90 pounds. It's also a sketchbook. And now this has more tooth to it. So the tooth is very much like this one, this first one. And obviously the paper is more white too, if you can see that on camera. I don't know if you can. But this also has more tooth to it, and it's tougher than the stuff in this sketchbook. And I don't know why it came with 3 separate sketchbooks, this set. That doesn't make sense to me at all. It would have been better if it came with one sketchbook this size, a 5.5 inch by 8.5 inch. It would have been better if it came with one sketchbook this size with the kind of sketch paper that is in this larger 9 by 12 book, because this paper is a lot tougher and it can go through a lot more stuff. This paper that's in this sketchbook, it is so loose and porous that it can't stand up even under a hint of liquid. If you sneeze on this, the paper is going to wrinkle and buckle horribly. And also, I don't know why you would put a hard exterior cover on a sketchbook. That doesn't make sense to me at all. And it also came with this last thing, the charcoal paper. And this is 32 sheets, 9 inch by 12 inch, 90-pound charcoal paper. And this is a little bit like toothy drawing paper. I don't know what's up. It's very, very porous, so it wouldn't be able to stand up to any type of liquid at all whatsoever. You wouldn't be able to put markers on this. You wouldn't be able to put inks on this. If you have like a inking or quill pen, it would completely wrinkle and buckle under that. That is not good at all. So first off, my suggestion to the company is, please, there's nothing wrong with including a sketchbook. I would definitely suggest including a sketchbook this size, a 5 by 8, that's great. You can even put the spiral on the back of it instead of on the top of it. Doesn't matter either way. But, include a pad this size, a 9 by 12 of drawing paper that is nice, thick, smooth drawing paper, or even better yet, drawing paper that has plenty of tooth to it, And the strange thing about these sketch pads is that it has plenty of tooth to it. The item that you want to have lots of tooth to it needs to be a drawing pad of paper, not a sketchbook. A sketchbook is literally for your sketches. These are the before drawings that you make before you transfer it into your drawing pad of paper, which is supposed to be permanent, So it would be best if this company offered a sketchbook, a drawing pad of paper, and the paper in the drawing pad needs to be nice and thick, like cardstock paper. Like you used to be able to buy cardstock paper to print out actual cards out of your printer. It needs to be at least as thick as cardstock paper or thicker. And it'd be nice if it had plenty of tooth to it too, you know, kind of like this has, or even a little bit more. But then you also need to include a pad of tracing paper. And the tracing paper can be, you know, the 5x5 and, you know, the 5" by 8", or it can be the 9" by 12". Doesn't matter, but just as long as the tracing paper would be able to cover the sketchbook pad. That is because if you're an old school, you know, real life hard copy artist like myself, we all know the value of tracing paper. What you do is you do your sketch for, and this is, you know, an art hack, a life hack for anyone who doesn't know. What you do is you draw your item on your sketch pad. You get the sketch done correctly, like this, as you can see, and you get it down flat. And once you have it all figured out, you take your tracing paper and you lay your tracing paper over your sketch, and you copy all of the items and the areas and all of the details that you want to keep, all of the good stuff out of this drawing that you want to keep. And then you transfer it over into, and since don't have a drawing pad of paper here, you transfer it over into your drawing pad of paper, your final, you know, art piece, and you transfer it over onto your drawing paper. And then, you know, you trace it out, you draw it out from the tracing paper, you know, trace it out onto your drawing paper. And a lot of times you have to flip it. And that actually helps you greatly when it comes to, a lot of people are right-handed. You'll have right-hand bias and everything will be just skewed and tilted and twisted towards a certain direction. And so when you have to flip your drawing over and transfer it, you'll see all the messed up little quirks and, you know, things that need to be corrected. So now on your drawing paper, you actually draw it again. And a lot of artists will actually go through several traces and transfers like this until they have the final product. That's the way it was back in the old days when you didn't have computers to just fix things for you, or draw out your circles, or draw out your squares and rectangles and triangles and whatnot. You know, you didn't have this absolute instantaneous perfection. You had to do it all by hand, and you go through several, you know, itinerations of, you know, whatever drawing, even if it's just a simple circle, square, or triangle, you would go through several drawings of that before you finally got to the final product that you would, you know, finally, you know, for lack of a better way to put it in the comic book industry, ink, you know, and print, essentially, you know. But so there's an art hack for you, or a life hack for you automatically. And so now, I think I'll break this up into several different videos, but now I'm going to go on to why I actually bought this thing in the first place, you know. So just to let the company know, I mean, I don't know about this charcoal paper, so I'm not even going to deal with that. I've never handled charcoal paper before, but I will say when it comes to, there's no need for all these sketchbooks. One sketchbook, one drawing paper book, and one, you know, transfer paper, tracing paper is what they call it, you know, book. That would be the best thing to offer your customers, your clients. So I hope US Art Supply sees this, and I hope they change it accordingly. And that would actually be the best, you know, and have at least as many transfer sheets, you know, at least as many tracing paper sheets as you have drawing sheets, you know. So yeah, you have 30 sheets here of sketchbook paper. You know, it would be best if you had at least 30 to hopefully 60 sheets of tracing paper, you know. So there you go. And it is a good idea to have 100 sheets in the sketchbook paper. That is nice. You don't have to. You can knock it down to 50 or even 75, you know, if you need to keep your costs down. But this is just major suggestions from an old school hard copy artist. All I use is this stuff. I don't use a computer, and that is what would be, you know, best, literally best for this whole thing. So, okay. Now on to the next part. Why, you know, the actual art supplies in my mind in this. pack that I got. So on to the next video.